Welcome to Value Plus, the family office. Knowledge Plus for Wealth Plus presentation from our research desk. Last week, the major news which floated in the financial markets were the CCEA announced the prices of domestically produced natural gas. It should rise to $8.4 per unit from the current $4.20 by April 2014. The impact can be it will increase the investment within the sector and help to attract investment from outside. Domestic production of gas will increase and gas-based power production cost will rise by about 15 to 20%. Also, rupee breached the 60 per dollar mark and reached to its all-time high of $1 per 60.42 rupees. The impact can be the export concentrated companies will be benefited. Also, there will be an adverse impact on the current account deficit, and it will result in an increase in the petrol prices by rupees 1.80. Because of all this, Sensex rose by 621.57 points, that is by 3.31%, and closed to 19,395.81 at the end of the week. FIIs were the net sellers in the equity segment, leading to the net outflow of rupees 5998.10 crores. The chart shows the performance of different asset class in the financial markets last week. The Sensex rose by 3.31%, whereas the gold was the major loser and it fell by 5.26%. High volatility was seen in all the financial markets. Next week, the financial markets will be eyeing on HSBC India Manufacturing PMI for June 2013, which is to be released on 1st July 2013. HSBC Service PMI for June 2013, which is to be released on 3rd July 2013. And monthly auto and cement sales numbers for the month of June of 2013 will be released. The hot topic for today's week is journey of the rupee. And the journey begins from the year 1947, where USD INR stood at rupee 1 and India got independence. Continued trade deficit through 1950s coupled with Government of India's budget deficit increased the magnitude for rupee depreciation in 1960 and rupee stood at 4.77. Moving ahead, the Government of India had a budget deficit problem and could not borrow money from abroad or from the private corporate sector because the sectors had a negative savings rate. As a result, government issued bonds to RBI, which increased the money supply, leading to inflation. War with China and Pakistan in 1962 and 1965-66, which resulted in the increased defense spending by 24.06 of total expenditure, which was the highest during that period. One more factor leading to devaluation was the drought of 1965-66. US and other countries were friendly towards Pakistan for the withdrawal of foreign aid to India. India also faced high inflation and large government budget deficits. In 1990, India started having balance of payment problems since 85, and by the end of 1990, it found itself in a serious economic trouble. The government was close to default and its foreign exchange reserves had dried up to the point that India could barely finance 3 weeks' worth of imports. This led to India's second economic crisis, and the rupee then stood at 17.50. In 2000, India faced political instability from 1995 to 98, where two Prime Ministers, Mr. H.D. Deve Gowda and Mr. I.K. Gujral, stepped down from their position between these years, and India faced higher deficit problem, and rupee fell to 45 per US dollar. In 2007, it It again reached to a 10-year high due to foreign investment inflows, and it appreciated and became 38.43. After 2008, foreign investors started pulling back their funds due to global financial crisis, which again led to the depreciation in the rupee. Currently, it has reached at the highest level of 60.42 per dollar, and India's economic situation is similar to 1970. We can term it as high inflation and high trade deficit along with a fiscal deficit. So we conclude that to get the rupee at a comfortable position, growth is the only option for India. It would be necessary to curtail the outflow of foreign funds, especially the FII's outflow. To come out from the current situation, government has to recognize the lapses, the leakages in the system, and come up with the corrective actions, which we term it as reforms. This would then help in rebalancing the other macro factors like current account deficit, inflation, etc. Thank you. Please share your valuable feedback on our email ID info@valueplusinv.com. Thank you once again.